Hey there, everyone, and welcome to another episode of the Local Influencers Podcast. I'm your host, Abel, and on today's podcast, I have Orlando from the Coastal Bend Pride Center. Orlando, thank you very much for being here with me today.
Thank you for having me.
Yes, so the Coastal Bend Pride Center, guys, for those of you who don't know, it's actually I believe it's the only one south of San Antonio, Texas, right?
That is correct.
And
Hopefully it grows
so
in future.
Yeah, so it's a very important, and I am just very excited. We're recording this the past, y'all, as you're listening to this, we're actually recording this during Pride Month, so it's a great busy time for Orlando. He's loving his whole life journey at the moment. So, Orlando, let's just start for our listeners. What do you do for the Pride Center, and how long have you been involved with the Pride Center?
So I'm the coordinator with the Pride Center. I've been around since we officially opened in 2019. Um, Basically, what my job currently entails is I assist with like the social media, event planning, but also I wear multiple hats. I have picked up some social work skills, tried to help assist by assisting support groups, trying to assist individuals get connected to health services. The Pride Center is under a larger agency known as the Coastal Bend Wellness Foundation, where we're basically one-stop shop where we have behavioral health services, youth programming, and we also do have a general healthcare clinic to provide a variety of services.
Awesome. And so the Coastal Bend Pride Center, I know everything that you do there, but like you said, it is kind of part of like the Wellness Foundation and everything. What are some of the services that the Pride Center offers? Because I know there's things for like the youth and everything. So I'd like to kind of get into a little bit more about all that.
So before the Pride Center opened, we already had two peer support groups in place. We had our transgender support group, and then we also do have our youth network out together, aka Why Not for Youth 13 to 18. So of course, each group is different. We Why Not? We try to basically become a safe space for the youth, being able to, some of them are not out to their parents yet. Looks like that is changing currently and hopefully in the future, where they have more accepting parents. But basically, it's a safe space for them to be themselves, ask questions that maybe they can't ask from their guardians or from their local schools. And of course, we try to have a variety of fun times. Like we try to find LGBT friendly youth movies, family friendly movies. We try to have game nights and also have a variety of discussions that teenage youth need to know today. And then, of course, our transgender group. Not It's South Texas, unfortunately. Not all trans individuals are accepted in the society. So we try to provide that safe space here, and of course, they can share their experiences with one another. Especially if there is one newly out trans individual, they can learn from their peers on what's the next step, what can they do in Corpus, what are the safe spaces to express their true gender, their authentic selves.
Yeah,
Uh,
and so go ahead.
so yeah, we have those going on. Was your question?
No. I can kind of pivot off. So go. You can continue.
We have a lot. So we this year, we not this year, about 2021, we did start a transgender family support group, basically. So for loved ones of trans individuals, of course, they are trying their best to support their trans loved one. So we try to provide this safe space where they can ask the right questions without uh, annoying or asking the wrong thing from their trans loved one. Because, of course, as an LGBT individual, sometimes it gets tiring when you're hand holding your straight ally, cisgender ally. And it's like, I need a break. So this is where our leader of the support group can help provide questions or group topics to help lead them in the right direction. And then, of course, we try to provide a variety of fun events. Whether, for example, we just started an out professionals group where LGBTQ professionals and allies are able to come together and network with each other. Because, of course, we never had that in Corpus yet. So hopefully that will continue well into the future. And we are still continuing to increase our programming.
I love that. Yeah, I love all those different like support groups that you have, and then the Out Professionals is just, I've been to I think 2 or 3 of them now, and it's like I see it just like it's just like growing, and it's like becoming a thing. Like I already we put it on our calendars as soon as we like we get the dates, it's on our calendar, and I love that. So kind of pivoting, you mentioned the word safe space, and then I like that you brought up the Out Professionals because we were recently at Bus, and that you announced, I believe it was you or someone there announced that Bus was considered a safe place. Can you explain what like these different like small businesses and areas here in town, and maybe in other cities they have it too, what that safe space program is, and what how I know they have to go through like a certification, what that process kind of looks like? Because obviously a lot of people in my listenership is small business owners and entrepreneurs, so maybe that may be something they're interested in.
So yes, what we do here at the Pride Center that has been going around for a while, even before the Pride Center opened, is what we call a safe zone training. What we do is we provide it's completely free. We just ask you to take about 2 hours of your day to sit with us as we go over LGBT competency information, how to work with LGBT. How do you work with a masculine looking person who comes in wearing a skirt? Because, of course, that's not a norm here in South Texas. How do you politely talk to a same sex couple without asking an offensive question or accidentally offending him in some way, shape, or form? And of course, with that process, once the training's over, we certify you. We give you a certificate for your business or for you as a person, and then of course we add you to our website where we have a list of the safe zone trained businesses, whether they're bars, coffee shops, boutiques, shops, food trucks. We've had a variety of individuals, even downtown Corpus Christi Management District, participate in the training as well. So we are always open. Feel free to contact us to schedule an appointment.
Okay, I love that. And so the I mean, it's so important that the youth have these things because I remember growing up, and I think a lot of probably our listeners growing up, our generations didn't really have these things, or they weren't as accessible, right? We didn't know about these things because of the internet was just developing. I don't know how old you are, Orlando, but I'm aging myself. Internet was just like becoming a really big deal, but social media wasn't what it is today. And so it's very important that programs like this exist. And so how do you have, I know you said support groups and stuff, so let's say a young person is out to their family and they don't take it well, do you, as a part of that support group, and this just me kind of wondering, do you guys offer like maybe like to provide information to their family and their friends? Are they involved with it, or do you welcome them and to kind of educate them? Because sometimes a lot of reactions are based on like they're scared of the unknown, and so do you guys help with that?
Yes, we've had plenty of families or family friends who are trying to bridge the gap between the youth and whoever's struggling to understand what it means to be LGBT. They'll go ahead and contact us and we'll schedule an appointment because they'll come visit. And we kind of try to do like a one-on-one, and or depending on how safe they feel, we'll have them together to kind of go over what it means that, well, for example, one of the issues is that there's a misconception that being LGBT is, for example, sexually promiscuous. It's like, no, that's not it. This is actually what it means. It's not a phase. Try to go through. We have a variety of official research and information that we can provide to the questioning individual. Be like, hey, we're not making, we're not talking out of our butts. Here's some more official information that you can review, go over, and of course, you can always give us a call, continuing to ask those questions with us.
Cool. And so I know, like I said, we are recording this during Pride Month, and I've been to a few events and things, and they're lots of fun, but I get to go as a guest, right? You get to work behind the scenes and do all of the setup and tear down and stress and run around. And I've seen Orlando, and he's like, "Oh, I'm so sorry I didn't get to say hi to you, but yeah, it's life. Bye." And he's like, "Bye," running around. So
I'm being called out right now. I'm sorry. I'm running around like a headless chicken.
yeah. So, how long in advance or does it take you guys to put together the event? Like, how far ahead of planning for some of these events? Does it take you how long? What does that process look like? And especially looking for like recently we had the comedy show, right? Like the that was so much fun. And how does that process look like, especially for you, you know, being a coordinator, you wear, like I said, multiple hats, and I've met some people that work with you and everyone's great. It seems like there's a great collaborative there, like a collaborative work environment. It's just, what is that behind the scenes? Give us a peek behind the scenes. Cause like I said, when I see you, you're like, all right, you're on your work mode. And I'm like, oh, that's Orlando working.
So yes, don't be afraid to come say hi to me. If I don't say hi to you, it's because I'm busy. Basically, what we try to do is we try to plan at the very least 2 months in advance. Of course, it doesn't happen that way where all of a sudden, individual or community partners like, hey, let's do this real quick. I'm like, okay, let's go. We have the resources, we have the funding to proceed to do that. The thing, what some people don't realize is that here at the Pride Center, we are a team of four. Um, and we actually just hired the extra two community liaison individuals. So my director is Barton Bailey, and our community liaisons are Reed O'Brien and Bailey Russell. I don't know how I would be able to do any of that without them. So with our team of four, we try to divide and conquer. It was worse back in the day for me and Barton. We would just be like, Barton, you were in charge of this. Orlando, you're in charge of that. And so it's like, oh, okay. And then of course, community partners not realizing that it's just a team of two. They'll ask, oh, can you do this? Can you do that? And we're like, oh, slow your roll, breathe. Let's think about it. How can we proceed to plan these functions? But then, of course, luckily, Pride Center is not initially in charge of Pride Corpus Christi. That is a whole separate entity within
Yeah.
itself. So thank goodness for them. It helps alleviate the workload, and we can partner together and try to provide the resources needed to come up with these great events, whether it's a drag show or the comedy night. And of course, stuff like the comedy night usually takes months of preparing. That's not a real quick thing to do. While out professionals, we kind of know the community at this point. For example, I'm friends with the bar manager at Bus. So I'm just like, hey girl, is this free on your calendar? And she's like, oh yeah, come do this. So thank goodness for networking and being able to connect with the community, whether the LGBT members or allies. So that's kind of our uh, fun planning processes when it comes to whether it's Pride events or events that the Pride Center hosts year round that we try to come up with.
Yeah, and I know that I've been to even like pop-up shops and just all kinds of things, and I'll see the Wellness Foundation and like Pride Center have always like booths and setups and just handing out information. And I always think it's great. And it's funny, I didn't even know that it was just like four of you, you know, like because I didn't realize now thinking about it, I'm like, yeah, I kind of do always see the same people there, you know, but I just didn't put two and two together. So as your team grows, if it's grown by the time this podcast comes out more, you can be like, back in the day, you don't even know how good y'all have it.
I'm already doing that now, and Barton has to tell me like, "Girl, chill. Stop talking out of your butt.
Be humble.
Be humble, Orlando. Be humble."
So the Pride Center can for what are some of the things that the community can do to help spread awareness? Obviously, like things like this, a podcast, and sharing, obviously social media. But what are other ways that just for the average listener can help the Pride Center? What is it that you guys need? What is it that you look for as far as help? What can they do?
So, of course, the biggest thing is being an advocate for that child you talk to who's struggling with their identity, or even if it's an adult individual who is just now coming to terms with their identity. Just advocate for them and tell them they're not alone, and feel free to come check out recommend our services to them. I think that's our biggest thing right now, because of course, a lot of individuals, thank goodness, they have a great support system, and things are growing as of 2022 for the LGBT community. But there's still individuals in South Texas that maybe need a little more support than just, oh, cool, my cheerleading teacher's letting me do this, this, and this, and other similar situations. Other ways to assist, of course, for example, we do have a trans clothing closet. What we've been trying to do is, of course, any individual can visit us at any time to go through our closet because, of course, it's maybe not safe or you don't feel comfortable shopping at the mall. We don't know which stores are all completely trans friendly. So we try to provide that here in the Pride Center, and we still accept donations of lightly used clothing. Of course, if you can, we try to be fashion forward too. Not saying give us your Louis Vuittons, but stuff you don't wear anymore. Feel free to, or you just bought this and you're like, oh, it doesn't fit me or whatever. Feel free to donate to the Trans Clothing Closet. That way, our trans individuals can be more fashionable, fashion forward as well. And then, of course, feel free to donate. We do have a donate link on our website, or even if you stop by in person and say hello and give us a check, we are always happy to welcome you and have a sit down with you to tell you where's the funding going, what use are we going to get out of this, and of course, the safe zone training is my biggest thing because, of course, we have a lot of individuals and businesses that claim to be allies. They never had issues uh, assisting the LGBT community, which is great. But of course, if your establishment looks like a basic, for example, straight bar, how is a LGBT individual supposed to know that this is a safe space? They can come in either with their partner or being able to present as their true, authentic selves. Especially with what's going on recently, all the craziness. A lot of individuals are afraid of going out and trying new places because they don't know, is this a safe space? How am I supposed to know? So, of course, with the Safe Zone training, you'll have a rainbow sticker on your business window, and that'll help be a great indicator that, hey, you are safe. Come hang with us.
I love that. And so we have reached a time now for you to plug all of the good, all the things, all the good stuff, the website and social media, everything. So where can people find more about the Coastal Bend Pride Center?
Feel free to check out www.cbpridecenter.org as our website. And of course, we're all over Facebook and Instagram. So, Coastal Pride Center put together for Facebook and Instagram. And feel free to follow our youth group, Why Not CBWF. That's on Facebook and Instagram as well. And if you want to come visit us, we are open 8 to 5. We're located 2882 Holly Road, zip code 78415. And we're basically a big blue building right next to a Dollar General. You can't miss us off of Holly Castores.
Awesome. Well, Orlando, thank you for everything, for all of the information, everything that you and everyone there does, your entire large team. Thank y'all very much for everything that you do. Really appreciate you being on and just sharing the knowledge with everyone. And for our listeners, I'll have links to all of the websites and social medias in the show notes. So all you'll have to do is click from your phone and it'll take you directly there. And I definitely encourage you, whether you are an ally or you just have questions about the community itself and you want to grow your knowledge, or if you want a safe place to go, definitely recommend checking out and visiting my friends over there at the Pride Center. So Orlando, thank you again for being on. I really appreciate everything y'all do, so thank you.
Thank you so much for having me.
Yeah, and for my listeners, wherever you are listening, please head out into your community, make a positive change, and do some good. We'll chat next time, guys.